If they say they want you and then disappear the moment you get closer, that's not mixed signals. That's avoidant attachment. And here's the plot twist: avoiding intimacy doesn't make them powerful, it makes them into scared little boys and girls. And that's exactly why they have that attachment style, because they were scared little boys and girls when they were in their formative years. Now, today, we're going to crack the code and we're going to teach you how ethical masculinity disarms the avoidant defenses without chasing, baby, without chasing. Welcome back, fire starters. I'm Mike, your dating and relationship expert. This is Plant the Spark, where we unlearn toxic dating advice and replace it with real psychology, real science, and real masculine groundedness. We are ethically masculine. Now, today, we're decoding the avoidant, the most misunderstood attachment style on planet Earth, baby. So, what exactly is the avoidant attachment? Well, avoidants were raised to learn really early that closeness equals being overwhelmed. Their caregivers were probably a little dismissive. They might have been a little aloof, cold. They probably had a father who was a little bit distant or a mother who was emotionally unavailable, right? They had really unpredictable affection schedules. They were probably invalidated. The whole system is invalidating. I mean, the child learns basically that emotions are unsafe, right? I mean, dependence is dangerous. Love equals loss of autonomy. Guys, this is a recipe for disaster, right? They get into adulthood, right? And they avoid vulnerability, right? And how do they do this? When somebody gets too close or what they deem as too close, they pull away, right? They shut down. Do the silent treatment. They minimize conflict. They run away and retreat, right? When intimacy rises. And they choose partners who usually love more than they do. But here's the truth: avoidants aren't heartless, they are terrified. Avoidants fear everything from engulfment, right? Losing that sense of sort of self and being a part of something bigger. They fear being controlled, right? They are so hyper vigilant about sort of staying autonomous. They don't want to lose their identity, right? And they have tied their identity to controlling their own lives and being self-sufficient. They see emotional chaos in their daily lives, so they create distance to protect themselves, right? And really, studies show that avoidance deactivate attachment systems under stress, meaning they kind of go into a numb feeling and so they withdraw. But deep down, I mean, look, they're just like everyone else. Deep down, they crave connection. I mean, these are not the schizoid personality disorder. These are just people that they were taught an untrusting way to show and give and accept affection. They just don't trust it. They just don't trust it. Now, how does ethical masculinity fix the avoidant patterns? And in the last episode, we talked about how to fix the anxious. So if you're an anxious individual, go back. Look, autonomy, right? Avoidants need autonomy. Ethical masculinity validates this instead of smothering it. Ethical masculinity is set up really easily for the avoidant, to be honest. Competence, right? Emotional regulation. Avoidance respects calm more than reassurance, right? They want to keep things as calm. And that's what ethical masculinity does. Relatedness, this is really for the avoidant, this is really where EM is going to shine because it teaches avoidance how to connect, right? How to connect. And this is really where the avoidants struggle. It teaches them how to show small vulnerability, consistency, right? Things like emotional presence, empathy without losing your boundaries, right? Avoidants thrive when connection doesn't feel like they are in a capture situation. They are not, that panther, pacing back and forth at the zoo, wanting to get out of that cage, baby. What are some of the triggers and how do you navigate them? I mean, trigger one, intense emotion from you. The avoidant's going to retreat. So the strategy is to regulate and to speak cleanly. Make sure they know exactly what you expect. All right, trigger number two, pressure for reassurance. Look, the strategy here is space plus calm presence. All right. Trigger number three, we need to talk. Strategy, soften it, right? Time the conversation, keep it concise. Trigger number four, feeling needed. Now, again, it's not that they don't want to help, it's that they feel overwhelmed. They feel like they're going to let someone down, and that's going to ultimately push them away. Well, the ACR autonomy strategy, right, is all about showing self sufficiency. So, this stuff is literally built to help avoidance become secure. And that's what we want, right? Practice one vulnerable sentence per day, guys. Look, stay present when discomfort rises. Like, force yourself to sit there and regulate your system. Take those deep breaths. Reframe in your mind exactly what it is that's going on so you don't get overwhelmed. Set boundaries with your crush or your dating prospects early. Let them know. Let them know what your boundaries are. That way you can fully enter that relationship knowing that that person is at least aware of what you need. Communicate, right? I just got done saying you're setting those boundaries and then you're communicating those expectations to your partner or to your potential partner. Look, boundaries are fine. Don't worry about pushing people away. If they are not okay with your boundaries, it's okay for them to go. And I understand that when you fall in love, that's a hard thing to deal with. But look, you got to have boundaries. All right, next, build competence at emotional regulation. Practice, practice, practice. Look, avoidance becomes secure by learning that closeness doesn't erase them. They need to be able to say, like, this relationship doesn't end me. All right. Next episode. Guys, no one ever talks about this attachment style. The secure one, baby. The emotionally grounded final form we are all evolving toward. Guys, this is the attachment style that ethical masculinity is built on. You know you got to go get my program. You know you got to get the heavy, the deep stuff, right? I've got some really good digital manuals out for you guys right now, including the first manual, which is the Ethical Masculinity, the ACR Method Playbook, baby. Come on now. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, my guys, and comment, I choose presence. I'm Mike, your dating and relationship coach, and I love you, little fire starters. Stay calm, but make sure it's dangerously calm. See ya.